Salisbury, North Carolina.
Fantastic. Jamie's in North Carolina.
I'm new.
Fantastic. Welcome, Jamie, glad from North Carolina. And Bruce, where'd you say you're calling in from?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. North Carolina and Philadelphia in the house. Thank you both very much. We are glad you made it. And I know there's some other people out there. Go ahead, James.
Angela, right on the top row, second one from the left. I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina.
Angela from Greenfield, North Carolina. Welcome, ma'am. Glad you made it. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, Eric. My name is Eric, and calling from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Las Vegas, Nevada is in the house.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Glad you made it.
Lou Manager from Michigan.
Lou from Michigan. Welcome, Lou. Glad you made it.
All right, this is James from New Jersey.
James from New Jersey. Welcome, James. Glad you made it. Thank you.
Marilyn from Pennsylvania.
Marilyn from Pennsylvania is in the house. Thank you, ma'am. Glad you made it. Welcome to the team. Who else is out there? Moto G Power 2021. Go ahead.
Patrice.
Hey, Patrice, where are you calling in from?
Okay.
I'm calling in from Philadelphia.
Philadelphia also. Welcome. Glad you made it. Go ahead, Moto G Power. Can't hear him, so I'm going to have to hit that button. Sorry about that. Moto G Power is calling in from somewhere here in the country. And he is actually attendant new person number 13. Fantastic. All right, so let's
in the chat there, Niall. We have a Stacy Smith from Whitewell, Tennessee.
welcome, Stacy.
Pat from Iowa.
Pat from Iowa. Welcome, Pat. Glad you made it.
And that's
All right.
Woodwell, Stacy.
Fantastic. And everybody else, welcome to the RRR247 team conference call and the direct-to-consumer ambassador team conference call. I said a minute ago, it's the best, most important night of the week. Write your first note if you're brand new here. Tuesday night is the most important night of the week because all the big announcements, all the magic, everything happens on Tuesday night that you need to know to succeed properly and as far as you can be in your business. At any time Rory and Tanya are going to add something new to the system, they're always going to add that on a Tuesday night. So you want to make sure you don't ever miss any of that. Don't be that story that missed out on an opportunity, missed out on an offer. Sometimes they're time-sensitive things, and you need to get them going right away. But whenever they're going to add something to the system to help you make more money, you need to get on that page either that night or the very next night, get that information out there, start getting your page indexed, start advertising, and be one of the first people out there promoting whatever it is they're going to add to the system. And if they're going to do that, listen, it's always going to happen on a Tuesday night, never any other night of the week. The other nights of the week are trainings for different things. And on Saturday, we do a lot of training if you're available on Saturdays. But Tuesday night, those are the big announcements, and those are the new additions. And you never want to be a part of one of those stories that missed out on a Tuesday night launch. So welcome, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and call last call. We love seeing the growth. We love seeing the new faces. We love being the ones to welcome you on Tuesday night. We love seeing all the new states being represented. So if you are brand new, click on that little microphone in the lower left-hand corner or hold down the space bar like a walkie-talkie while you're still talking. Don't let go until you're done talking. And say hello and let us know what state you're calling in from.
Niall, my VIP Dawn check is in the chat. I'd love to welcome her.
Welcome, Dawn. Glad you made it.
Hi, y'all. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Fantastic, Dawn. I'm glad you made it. Go ahead. Samsung SMA536U. Who is that and where are you calling in from, sir?
Miami, Florida.
And what's your name?
John Cornwells.
Don from Miami, Florida. Welcome, Don.
JOHN. Yeah.
JOHN. Okay.
I'll change the name for you. How's that, Don? There we go. Everybody knows who it is. Fantastic. Welcome, everybody. Anybody else? Anybody else? That was last call.
Now I have a new student, Summer. She's on the call. This is her first call.
All right. What's her name, Kim? Is she here? Do you see her?
Summer. Can't find her yet, but her name is Summer.
Yep, she's in the chat, Niall. She said she's checked in from Michigan.
Fantastic. Yes. Welcome, Summer. Glad you made it.
And
I
then
also have another one named Clinton. He should be on the call too.
Don't see him. Clinton, if you're here or someone, unmute, say hello. All right,
Hi,
maybe. Kenesha, where are you calling in from?
from
Indiana?
Yes.
Fantastic. Welcome. Glad you made it. All right, I'm going to give a couple more seconds because I really want to see at least one more new person say hello. And I'll tell you why in a second. Hello, Blaine, where are you calling in from?
Vancouver, Washington.
Vancouver, Washington. Fantastic. Welcome to the team. Thank you very much for doing that. You know why? Because you just made my story true and accurate yet again. Every single week, there's 20 to 30 new people joining the team, and you were the 20th person who was able to unmute and say hello. So thank you very much for keeping my story straight, and welcome to the team, everybody. I'm going to hit a couple of buttons here so we can get going. Going to hit that one, and I'm going to shut down the chat for a little bit because I don't know what Rory and Tanya are going to share. We don't want something popping up in the middle of the screen while they're doing that. So I'm going to shut that down, shut that down. I'm going to hit this big button right here. And now I'm going to say one more time, welcome everyone, all 20 brand new people who logged in tonight and had a chance to say hello. Welcome to RRR247 and DTCA, or Direct to Consumer Ambassador Team and Conference Call and Training. For all you new folks, welcome again. My name is Niall Eddy. Listen, I've been in this industry for 35 years. And after 35 years, I'm just as excited as I was in year one because there's an unbelievable amount of great things happening. 35 years ago, I was able to walk away from my job because I discovered something incredible. I discovered an industry that opened up doors for me that I didn't know existed, and it probably never would have opened if I wouldn't have joined this industry. And I got to meet people that I never would have met in the career that I had before. When I found this industry, I was actually an adult student with a wife and 3 kids, going back to school to get my aviation license because I hurt my back and I couldn't do construction anymore. And all I was looking for at that time, I seen the opportunity to make some money, and all I wanted was an extra $500 or $1,000 a month to spoil my kids a little better on the weekend. That's the only reason I came here. I just wanted to make an extra $500 or $1,000 to spoil my kids, because any parent knows when you go back to school as an adult, your kids go with you. It's rough on everybody, right? There's a lot of sacrifices being made. And I just wanted to spoil my kids a little more. But it didn't take me long at all to see that this was a lot more than I thought it was. This was a lot bigger than I thought it was. And I dove in and I decided I was going to become a good student of this industry and a good student of the system that we were working back then. And I did exactly that. I dove in and learned all that I could. And I realized this was much, much bigger than I ever could have imagined. And when I say it opened up doors for me that I didn't know about, it completely turned my life around. I met people that I never would have met before. It didn't take me long to surpass my first few goals that I set here. But what it gave me was 2 important things to every human being on this planet. And I hope you get this. Time freedom. I had all the time freedom I wanted. Because of this, when I walked away from that job, I got to spend as much time with my kids as I wanted. I got to put them on the bus, take them off the bus. Not a lot of dads get to do that. I was there for every football practice and game from the time that helmet was bigger than my son until he grew into it and grew out of it, all the way through high school. I had a daughter that played volleyball, so I was at every one of those practices and games as well. And I even had a daughter that was a cheerleader, and I was that dad on the sidelines with the cheerleader. The pom-poms used to make everybody laugh. I love being a big part of my kids' life. That was my driving force behind everything that I did. And this industry gave me the freedom to spend as much time as I wanted with them. And the other thing it gave me was financial freedom. How many parents, and raise your hands this way, how many parents can relate to this? Every time we took our kids on vacation, we wanted them to have the best time ever. So that's all they talked about for 6 months after was how much fun they had on vacation. And we swiped that credit card as many times as we needed to the whole time we're on vacation, right? And then we got home and we opened up that envelope, the bill, and the guilt just set in how much money we just spent on that vacation. If not you, it was definitely that way for me. I swiped that card as many times as I needed to make sure my kids were having the time of their life. I got home and I seen that bill and the remorse set in for why did I do that? Well, guess what? I never had to worry about that again. Since joining this industry, the financial freedom that I was given, never, ever, ever did I ever worry about not just that card or the second card or the third card, how much I could spend on my kids and give them memories that they're never going to forget. time freedom, financial freedom are the two biggest things that I realized right away this industry can give you. And when I say I dove in to become a student, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any background or experience. I just followed what other people were doing. I read the literature. I watched the videos, which were, VHS sets about this big. Remember those? Anybody remember those VSH tapes that were about this big? You pop it in the machine. Yeah, I had one of those. I would watch those tapes and study and learn and study and learn. And, one day I look back and I realized that it was a really good decision I made to walk away from my job after finishing school. I got hired at the airport, walked away about 8 months into it, and never looked back, because I realized that I was now earning in 2 months' time more than anybody that I've ever known in my life earned it in an entire year. And that was just every time that paycheck came to the house, whether I took time off or not, I built something incredible. And that check just kept going up month after month after month after month. And 30 years into this, I'm telling you, what we did back then, you're going to see we have it so much better today with all the technology and the leadership behind us. It gave me a lifestyle that I never would have happened if I wouldn't have just decided one day to put forth the effort, become a good student, and never give up on myself, because I met some people that were making incredible amounts of money. And when I interviewed them personally, I found out the only difference between them and me is they were doing it longer. So I set my sails for success. I set my goals for 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road. And I said, what that guy's doing right now, he's been in the business for 20 years. Well, 20 years from now, that's where I'm going to be. And I believed it. I believed it 100%. And it all came true, every single bit of it. It started out for me as a young entrepreneur. I needed a voicemail that could handle a ton of volume. I was doing a lot of big advertising. I wanted to advertise in the top newspaper in every state in the United States. And with this mail order program that we had, everybody told me that I needed to go talk to this guy named Roy Rickard. So I called him up. I found out what he had. He explained this voicemail system that he had. And I met this young kid with just a ton of passion and energy to teach what he had and help other people with the system that he put together to help us. He had a love for mass communication that I didn't even understand back then, but I just knew I needed the voicemail he had. And he seemed like one of those really good guys that loved helping other people. So not only did he give me the voicemail that I need to take all the volume, guess what? As I built a network of people around the country, Roy showed me in his system, I could leave a message on that voicemail system and shoot it out to all of them at the same time. And I know there's a lot of young people right now going, what's the big deal about that? We can do that with SMS programs. We can do that via email. We can do it so many other ways. But guess what? This was 1992. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have cell phones. I don't even think I had a pager back then. Everybody's heard me say that. I honestly don't think I had a pager back then. We had none of the technology that we had today. What we had was a young guy with that software brain, that love for technology, that love for mass communication, that took the phone system and gave us all the freedom and ability to advertise everywhere and keep in touch with everybody before we even had all this technology today. And then what happened? 93, 94, that's when the internet was opened up to all of us, right? We all got to go get those computers with the monitors about this big. It took people to carry it in, 2 people to carry it in and put it on your kitchen counter, right, Angela? I see you smiling. It took 2 or sometimes 3 people to bring it in the house. And that's when Rory went online and he found his niche, right? He found his passion, his way to get out to more people. He went online and became one of the first lead generation gurus out there. Nobody knew how to produce leads like this guy Rory could do. There was a lot of other lead generation companies out there. They were trying to do what Rory's doing, but none of them could produce the quality or the quantity of leads that he knew how to produce. So he became the #1 lead generation guru out there because he nurtured every relationship and he did everything the right way. And his motto, even way back then, 30 years ago, was under promise and over deliver. It stayed true to this day. And that's why he became #1. And now he wasn't just nationwide, it's global, right? We're on the internet. He's flying back and forth from country to country, the jet set lifestyle, doing business in every country. I could call him up and he would tell me he's going down a mountainside in Utah or Switzerland. I don't know where he's at. He's always somewhere like that. But guess what? He always answered the phone. He was always there for us. He always, always, always nurtured every relationship. And he took care of every single one of his clients to the best of his ability. And that's why No one else could do that. And that's why he became the lead generation guru. He really cared about what he was building. He had a passion to do it. He had a passion to help other people. And everything that he did was the right way. So, that made him favored in God's eyes, or however you want to look at this, whatever energy you believe in. He was favored by that energy because he had the kind of heart that was needed to get that kind of favor. And then what did we need after lead generation? We needed websites. All of us entrepreneurs needed someplace we could send people, instead of talking to people one-on-one or 2 or 3 at a time. We needed someplace that we could send somebody that had all the information written down and could filter through, let them read it, make a decision, and then get on the phone with us. There was a lot of people out there making websites at that time. But guess what? Rory's outproduced all of them. Even in the very beginning, we had a 1-page flyer on the internet, and it was producing well. As he learned more and more technology, and the technology advanced, and we got into the second generation stuff, and he was putting pages behind pages or pages inside of pages, it just kept getting better and better and better. And the statistics that we got from his websites did much better. They outperformed anybody else out there building websites for the same reason. So he became the website guy, the website developer. He became the guru for lead generation and web development, and teaching entrepreneurs how to advertise their business and understand what's going on in the marketplace online and build to whatever their goals are. It's incredible. And guys, listen, I want you to know who you're getting in business with. When I met him the first time, we were both attending the same event in Miami, Florida. And I found out he was there. I had dinner with him, had a drink, watched the sunset on the beach in South Beaches, Miami. We talked about our families, our children, the future of our industry. Everything was happening. I realized right away, this was a young guy that had an uncanny ability to predict future trends and understand what was going on and stay ahead of the technology. If not on top of it, stay ahead of it. And I knew somehow, and when I shook his hand and looked him in the eyes for the first time, listen, we got to know each other very well over the phone, and that's great. But when you shake somebody's hand and look in their eyes for that first time, you really get to see who they are, right? When somebody can look you in the eyes throughout the entire conversation and lean in a little bit because they want to hear everything that you're saying and they want to understand what makes you tick and what he can do to help make your life better, those are the kind of people you want to keep around you, right? That's the decision I made back then. I don't know a whole lot about this guy. I don't know exactly where we're going, but I know he's got a big heart. He's serious about what he's talking about. He's got an unbelievable understanding of the internet and market and online marketing and everything we do. And I want to be a part of his life in one way, shape, or form. I had no idea what was going to develop. I had no idea that over the last 3 decades, because I've been here for 35 years and I've known him for 30 of those 35 years, I didn't know over the last 3 decades that we were going to become such good friends that turned into best friends. Get to know each other's family the way we do. He knows my kids. I know his kids. We've vacationed together. We've spent holidays together. And everywhere we go, there's usually a boat to charter so we can go fishing, because that's our way. That's our reward to ourselves for the hard work, is once or twice a year, get on a boat somewhere and go fishing. He's an incredible human being. But guess what? One man can't do everything by himself. You got to have the right partner. You ever hear that phrase, behind every good man is a good woman? We've all heard that, right? This is a power couple like you've never met before. After meeting him, I got to fly out to Utah, and I met his lovely wife, Tanya. And I walked in the door and met a young lady that was raising 7 kids, running several other businesses, and helping Rory and supporting him and doing a lot of the training and all the behind-the-scenes stuff that it needed to be done so that he could get this thing built, and end up meeting people like myself and Stacy and Linda and Donna and Sheila and all the other leaders that you're going to see here, and Jackie, so that we could take that message of theirs and take it out to the rest of the world. They're incredible human beings. But what makes them incredible is this: they've got giant hearts. They've got great big business minds and great business ethics, and they have a lot of passion to help other people. They got huge hearts. They want to reach out across the globe and help as many families get out of the rat race or the depression, and stomp out poverty in as many corners as we can. Give people all over the world a hand up for whatever it is that's needed in their life. They get up every morning. I drink it all day long, but they get up every morning and they have a cup of coffee, and they have a meeting, and they ask themselves, what can we do to make this better for Angela and Jamie and Bruce and Stephanie and all the new names and Kenesha? and O'Blaine, caller number 20. What can we do to make it better for all of these new people, and as well as the existing family and team we have here? What can we do to help them make more money? What can we do to help them see further than they can see right now? What can we do to help them start dreaming again, like we did when we were little and had all that stuff taken away from us from, all the things that happen in our world? What can we do to make it better for them so they can help us make it better for the rest of the world? Those are the two people that you guys are getting in business with. And I love the fact that every Tuesday night, I get to introduce you to one or both of them as we get on these Tuesday night calls. Jim Rohn told me something, and a lot of you have heard me say this already. This is for the new people. Jim Rohn told me something 25, 30 years ago. I don't know exactly when. The true legends on this planet are the people who find a way to help the most other people. To me, if you ask any other leader here, that is an absolute definition of Roy and Tanya Rickard. That's their life. That's what they choose to do with their life is keep building, keep growing, keep spreading out, help as many families all over the world as they can. And I don't think they're ever going to stop. I probably won't be on this planet by the time they even think about stopping because, yep, they're that much younger than me. They're incredible people. You're going to love them as you get to know them. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the family. And I think tonight I get to introduce at least one of them, and that's probably my brother, Rory. Like I said, we've known each other for 3 decades. Incredible things have happened. We have done incredible businesses over the years, and we got to meet a lot of fantastic, wonderful people by doing so. He's become my brother, my best friend, and sometimes my confidant. Sometimes he's the guy that I call up because something's going around in my head and I can't quite get it all figured out, and I want to get it figured out so I can help more people. I'm going to call Rory, and if I can't get a hold of him, I'm going to call Tanya. But it's usually him that I get to call and talk to first. And he's that go-to guy for me. You guys are going to find out he's that go-to guy for all of you as well. So without any further delay, I want to bring him on the call. Hopefully he's ready. Hopefully he can get his camera on and get his microphone going. Roy, you there?
I'm so ready. Oh yeah.
There you are. I couldn't see you, and I'm looking over at chat trying to find you. Fantastic.
I'm gonna preface a couple of things on here, and you guys, we come on here every week for you, right? For you. This is the best medium I've ever had to where we could reach everybody and keep things going. And for you guys that are new, it's overwhelming. Just take it step by step. Trust the instructor and the process you're going through. Eventually, you'll understand everything, right? There's a lot to this. That's why it works. But today I'm not bringing on a new product. We have so much going on. We got to take a breath every now and then. Today is about mindset. Today is going to share some things. And I had a separate agenda today. And in my meditation that I did earlier today, you guys, we live this amazing lifestyle. And I was out in the beautiful mountain air meditating, and I came up with a vibe or a direction I wanted to go tonight. And I've asked somebody to join me. So I'm going to bring on one of our very talented GSIs that also has another role with us. I'm going to highlight her. I'll bring her on in just a little bit. And you guys, we have so many amazing, talented, wonderful people that we are attracting to what we're doing here. And I wanted to cover a lot more things on mindset and go in depth on this. And I'm just going to Tuesdays, this is the absolute don't miss training. We've got tens of thousands of people in this organization, and we have a lot of people that catch the replay. Some of our replays will have 2,000 viewers on there, but you guys, those that are showing up here are always going to be in the right place at the right time when we roll out new things, and that's all the time. This is your business. This is your business training hours, and I need to go into it a little bit more in depth because as I focus on details and I talk to people, I've actually had students ask me, like, what does that mean? And, when you're not an entrepreneur, you've never owned a business before, and you've just been like an employee, there's different things you get used to and accustomed to. But I'm going to tell you, as a business owner, we're running into challenges or new things we want to do or things we want to add all the time. And when you have a powwow and you have a meeting, that's when you can address things, you can alter course, add something new and focus on something for that time being. things are going to help progress the business. That's what we do on Tuesdays. It's something that you should do. And every successful business project I've been involved, we had weekly meetings to adjust and adapt to what was going on. That's what Tuesday's for. Now we do them on Mondays for instructors, and that's so that they're prepared for the week and that we can focus on what they need to do to hone in their skill sets to be better for their teams, right? We focus on that. We really empower education, motivation, and also just being there to teach people things that they probably didn't learn in their previous jobs or directions. You know, education is an interesting thing, right? You don't know what you don't know, and in order to be successful, if it worked, everybody would be doing it, right? And there is a solid fact: 95% of Americans retire broke. So I'm going to take, based on that number, 95% of Americans never learned how to set things up to where they could make money outside of trading dollars for hours. It's a recipe for failure. And that's what they teach in the education process overall. And even in the university and colleges, is how to be a great employee and work for somebody else, trading time for dollars. Unless you learn how to be, unless you're a natural entrepreneur and you get trained by somebody that's going to raise you up, such as what happened with me, you're not going to learn how to create the methods to where your time isn't creating your money, but your wealth is able to leverage into processes that create cash flow. That's what this is about. And I'm simply a vessel to pay it forward. And then we've accumulated awesome people to join the vision and to help pay it forward to everybody else. That's what this is about. Everybody comes into RRR247 with absolute solid support behind them to succeed. Because we know once you succeed, you're going to pay it forward to others. And that is the vision of everything, based on everything we're doing here. And so when you go into mindset, there's a lot of things I want to cover. And the more excited I get about what we've done. It's taken 15 years. And I say it's 15 years because on our 15th year, which is now, is when I solved one of the last friction points of the necessary marketing and development processes that we need in this business. I solved that friction point, and now it's just rinse and repeat and run. It's rinse and repeat and run. And now we have students that get involved that within 2 to 3 weeks, they're part of the income process that allow them to take advantage of everything that's here. Not months, but weeks. And anything that can be automated is automated. Case in point, that's what we do. We're putting in a system with processes to allow it to be a conveyor belt of success. We're eliminating the areas that waste time, and we're focused on the high power areas, and we do what I call high touch. High touch is where we work with an individual to get them into the program, the BRT, where we get to know if they're the right fit. And this is the right fit for them. Very important. The next high touch is session 1. Next is session 2. The next is session 3. And then we're into group trainings because we're all doing the same acts of success. Do what I do, get what I get. And then session 4 is with the leadership as you're ready to develop more in a leader and be more of a high-powered instructor heading towards our GSI, PSI, MSI Elite path, which is where we are literally creating those individuals that want bigger incomes. Those are people that are going to step in more to receive more. And in order to receive more here, you just have to help more people. It's that simple. And once you learn how to do that in our process, you can literally add steady people every week to your team, and we all carry the support together so that nobody's left behind. We have built in every possible solution to accomplish the main vision of this, which was build a system that takes care of everyone and that leaves no possibility to hurt anyone. Meaning, if somebody doesn't succeed here, it's not my fault, it's not our instructor's fault, and it's not the system's fault. It's because they didn't do the work, right? The system, the conveyor belt of success, only works if you do the work necessary to make it work. And what does that work, right? That's getting your PBS set up for Google AdSense, modifying the pages, learning to do the art of performance blogging, and then getting involved in the V marketing and helping pay it forward. And in which case we develop an amazing business of leverage to where we're making money off of our efforts and the efforts of succeeding and success with other people, which creates an amazing win-win scenario for everybody involved. That's what we do, basics of it. everybody that is here and accomplishing things, it comes down to what we do individually, and what we got to focus on is how do we succeed in this. And you guys, I'm doing I do a lot of training courses on how to succeed and how to make your dreams a goal and your goal a reality. And I've really been hyper focused on it, and we're going to do more of that. But what I wanted to do is I'm gonna bring on one of our GSIs and have her come on here. Now I should put somebody else on the spot first. I like putting people on the spot. It's what's good about that is it's a good way just to get truth, right? They don't have time to think about it, and it comes off the cuff. Donna Meyer, are you able to talk? I'm going to make you a co-host. Donna Meyer, are you able to talk?
Are you talking about this Donna Meyer or the other Donna Meyer?
You know what? That always happens to me too, right? Well, you're doing great. I wanted the other Donna Meyer, so you know what? I'm glad you got.
Let me get off this.
That was awesome. And by the way, it looks like you're making great progress, by the way, Donna.
I got a duplicate here.
You do, and you know what? There's something in your guys' name because she is doing everything she's supposed to do. She's growing great. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. All right. So hold on, Donna. I'm bringing you back. I'm going to fix this. So I'm glad you're putting Donna Walker Meyer on there now, so that'll differentiate it. Donna Meyer, thank you so much. I'm speaking to both of you. Thanks for that. Okay, Donna Walker. You guys, this is one of our absolute biggest success stories. Donna, how long have you been here?
7 years. Going a little bit longer than 7 years now.
I honestly, I don't know if I can. I barely remember this before. I mean, you came into it when we were just solving a lot of things, and you watched this progress a lot. That's not why I brought you on. When this system was built, I'm gonna do some background, Donna, and then I want you on here because you're living proof of this. You're living proof of it for years and stuff going. And I do want you to share your story on how you found us, if you remember that, and where it's and what your journey's been. But first, I'm gonna have you answer something in a second. So you guys, when we built this system, the vision behind it was very specific. So I've learned how to accomplish goals, dreams. I already have a pattern of living that. We were already extremely successful before we even started RRR247, period. We knew what we're doing. We did this to pay it forward and help others. And, we just created something where it's like, I knew if everybody could do what I did, they could run an amazing family economy, create time and financial freedom. And we've proven it out over and over and over again. And I knew I had to do it. But that being said, as you do one thing, you do all things. And the way that I operate is just like marketing. Marketing done properly makes sales order taking. And I'm going to explain this over and over again so you guys all hear it. You'll hear it again because it's just all truth. It doesn't change. But proper marketing is something that very few people really understand. There's a reason I've been paid lots of money to create a marketing solution for companies. There's a reason they've paid me and flown me around the world. They've flown me to different countries. There's a reason. I understand things in a way that most people just don't. They just don't. Proper marketing isn't just about explaining what's in it for you, right? We all buy things because it solves a need. It's something we desire. There's a reason we buy it. We're emotional. We don't just buy it to buy it. But when marketing is done properly, sales becomes order taking, meaning they see it, they get it, and then they click to buy, they put their information in and buy, right? Online, it has to be that way. None of us are going to be there to answer their questions. We don't need to build it that way. If marketing is done properly, sales becomes order taking, and it's multidimensional. See, the way that marketing is to work is when the presentation or the information is disseminated to the potential customer, it needs to not just explain what's good about the product, why they need it, what's in it for them, but along the way, it needs to answer every possible question or objection they're going to have along the way. And when that's done, people can make a decision. And that is the core of what needs to happen. But not everybody understands how to do that. It takes a special gift to look at something and say, oh, I can see the problems people are going to have with that. And I understand people well enough that we need to explain this and that. And what about this? And what about that? And how do I solve that in that marketing presentation? It's something that's very rare. And what's really good about the performance blogging system is if I solve that for any product and it works for me, it's going to work for you. Doesn't mean you need to recreate it. No, use what I did. It works for me. It works for you. You're going to need to take care of the SEO side and modify the verbiage so that it's yours. But the heart of the presentation or the videos that we use, everybody can utilize. It makes it duplicatable without having all that skill set or knowledge. Now, hopefully, some of you that have been here for years, you're learning from me on this. And I wish everybody could learn how to do all that because it just makes us stronger as a marketing family. But when I solve it for me and my family, I also solve it for you and your family and the overall marketing family of RRR247. So I'm testing new things out all the time. Guys, I'm testing something awesome right now. But anyway, I'm testing new things all the time. And if it works for me, it works for you, and I'll roll it out to you. We do that on the Tuesdays and Saturdays, right? So that is on the marketing side, but on the business side, understanding things as an entrepreneur, this had to run in a way that we couldn't lose our work that we did. See, in a sole proprietorship, which means a business of one, if something breaks down for you and life happens, you can lose your entire business. I've had friends that ran successful remodeling companies. They broke their leg. They lost their entire business. They couldn't keep up with the bills. They were unable to do the work. That's a reality. That's what happens when you work solo. We're all meant to build in groups. We're all meant to be alone. No one's supposed to be a lone wolf. Okay? We're supposed to work with others. Teamwork always makes it work better. Multiple brains, multiple angles of doing it. But also in the structure that we have, and the way we structure our leadership and our teams allows life to happen without losing your business. So when we built this, I wanted to make sure I took care of every possible scenario that could destroy this business other than quitting. The one thing I can't help with is if you decide to suicide your business and quit. You quit. I can't help you. The system works only if you work. But if you're working the system and you're building and life happens, the team takes care of the team. And all the way up to the hierarchy of the leadership that we put in place for this reason. So Donna, your situation that happened, and it's probably been a while now, is absolutely why we built the way we did. And I want you to kind of go into that and more, but also then we're going to go into your story because I do want to share that a little bit. But Donna, how long ago was it that you had that operation? Can you tell that story?
Yeah, it was about 3.5 years ago or so. I think I have to think about it.
Yeah, it's been a while. But it's on my mind all the time though, because every time I'm grateful for what we built, I remember that, and I'm like, that's
so am I.
So go ahead. I'll be quiet because this is just a powerful thing, guys. And I got to tell you, the intent when we built this was to cover this exact scenario, and this exact scenario in other forums has happened all the time. I have students right now that go through similar things. The system allows things to be protected. So Donna, I'm going to mute because I get so excited. Go through it. Go through what happened and how things worked, and then I'm going to come back in. I need you for one more thing.
Okay. Well, about 10 years before this situation, I had a knee replacement, and it went super well. 4.5, 5 weeks, I was back at work. So 10 years later, which was about 3 years ago, I figured, okay, it's time to get the second one done because I really couldn't stand the pain anymore. So I figured I was hesitating because I knew it was going to be, between 4 and 6 weeks recoup on that. And I have always had trouble with my legs. So I knew I couldn't sit down at a table or a desk or anything to sit in front of the computer. And I knew that was going to be kind of a situation. Well, so I went in thinking, a few weeks I'll be good as new. Turned out that it was 3 months. I had to take a longer time in therapy than I'd planned. And that 4 to 5 weeks turned into 3 months. And if it hadn't been for this program, I have no idea what I would have done. And my team that I had grown, they took care of everything while I was gone. I have to say, I've got the greatest team in the world. They step up when they need to step up, and without even being asked. So I appreciate each and every person on my team. But Rory, honestly, I'd probably be out on the street if it hadn't been for this program.
Okay, so that's going to go to the next highlight that I want to bring up because, everybody came here looking for something. We market and make sure, and, we have a lot of things that refer us. We've been doing this for 15 years and successfully. But Donna, if you can walk through how you found us and kind of go through your journey on it and even bring up, you have some great stories and we got to, I want you to take some time, like 5 to 10 minutes, but go through how you found it, but go into your family too, because you've dealt with the naysayers. You had people think you're crazy doing this. Like, how could this work? Go into those just briefly, because I think people are going to relate to it. But also, you just came in here, you didn't know who we were. How did you find us and kind of just go through the quick journey?
Well, at the time I had gone to Florida to help my brother with his business, which was absolutely booming. And after I'd been there about 10 years, he developed cancer and passed away. So I closed up the business and I was going to move back to Texas to be closer to my kids and my grandkids, because they all had families that were developing now. And so I went to sell my house, and I had gone out to Florida in 2007, the year before the big market crash. And when I went to sell my house 10 years later, it was worth half of what I paid for it. So I came back, I got out of it without a foreclosure, but I was penniless. I had nothing left. After all those years raising 2 kids, and I had done really well, I lost everything, absolutely everything. And came back to Texas, and I was so broke that I had to move in with my oldest daughter and her husband and 4 kids. Thank God they took me in until I could get myself, reset. They were under the impression that I needed to go out and, look for a job. Well, I could barely walk because I hadn't had my knee surgery at that point. And I thought, yeah, when you're 60 something years old, kid, you tell me how that works for you. I just couldn't physically. I couldn't stand up all day. I couldn't sit down for hours and hours in a row. So I started looking online in ads, and I found this, and I just had a gut instinct that it was something I was going to do. And both of my kids were naysayers. They told me I was crazy, just like 50% of you guys. For years, they told me, "You're crazy, Mom." Well, I was determined. When somebody tells me that, then I buckle down and say, "Okay, I'll show you." So I was determined to make it a success. And I did. I have to say that when I first got in, I was skeptical, as are a lot of people. And I got a little frustrated at first, and I had to be talked off of the ledge, right, Rory? And
it happened.
I will also say that I knew nothing about marketing. I knew I was definitely not a techie. And I can just picture Rory with his head in his hands, shaking his head, going, "Where did I get this one?" Because I made about every mistake that there is in the book. And somehow Rory had the heart to overlook it and keep me on, because I was sure that he was going to get me out of the program. I thought, oh my gosh. So I stuck with it, though. I'm not a quitter. And I stuck with it, and the program just kept getting better and better and better. And as we went along, Rory really did listen to everybody that was there, and he made improvements every single month. There was something new, and still to this day, that's been a long time. If you don't think he listens to what people are saying, he does. He absolutely does. And he's worked out a streamlined this system so much that I think my little dog can do it here. It is step by step now. And it wasn't like that when, years ago when I first got in, for sure. but Rory, I don't know what I'd do without this program. When it came time to have that surgery, I had no idea and no idea what I was in for. And I still thank God that this was around and that my team was willing to step up and help me out while I was in the hospital. They still do. They're still there. They're always willing to help out. And I just couldn't think of anything better that I could be doing. And to be able to make really good money at this age and to be with a group of people that are really interested in helping other people is everything I could ask for. I just feel really blessed to have Rory and Tanya in my life.
And we love having you in ours. And I can't even remember when you weren't here because you've been there. But the thing about it is what you've done, and look how many people you've helped. Right, you've got a huge organization here because you kept at it, and you guys and Donna, I saw that you turned back on in a big way recently. Like,
we love you, Donna.
Oh, there she is. Guys too.
But you guys, this woman, her whys and her desire fed it. So she overcame her obstacles and learning just because doing it. And there was no way we're going to get rid of you, Donna. You kept showing up and you're willing to listen and learn and adapt. And you never broke down enough to stop. You never quit. And that's the momentum here. But what your reward is you paid it forward with others. You've been able to build an amazing team and that's helping carry stuff. And you see the power of it. And you guys, when you establish things properly, the way we teach it, the system, follow the system. It's a system, not a suggestion. You get the benefits of this. We made this so you could be replaceable so that your business doesn't die when life happens. But you've got to build it to that level first. That's the important thing. And, people are sticking around and they do their pace. But if you just push a little bit more and you get the rewards of this are incredible. And they're things that you don't get anywhere else, right? We already got this thing mastered where you have a set overhead. You guys can make as much money as you want. You don't need to spend more money to make the money. You just got to put the resources of your time and follow the system. Tanya and I fund your marketing. It's a big, big deal. And, there's so many aspects of what we've made better here. All the friction points are gone, but it worked even way back then when we didn't have all of this. Donna, you came in before we even added the first true anchor offer. You were here when we were doing
I was here when you introduced the wine offer.
Right. And that modified and changed things. But Donna, you traveled the world with us. We've had fun with that too.
And to all of those people dealing with naysayers, both of my daughters for 5 years were on my back because they didn't believe in what I was doing. And they thought that's not going to work. So when I went to Hawaii with Rory and Tanya and the group, well, we want to go. And I said, oh no. I said, it doesn't work. Remember, you had your chance.
Yeah.
You can still get in, but you got to work for it.
Yeah. And anyway, Don, thank you so much for coming on here. And I want to highlight some stuff, but you guys, I've noticed, Donna, I think you're going to do another resurgence to help build even more. I watched you turn on again. You guys, she used to add 10 to 12 new students to her team every week, like a machine. And now she's got people to overlook and treat. And what I want to say is, as we've been developing things, one of the friction points we wanted to fix, there's several in this in itself, was how do we get people to learn and allow us to continue to grow the team and take care of the group training. And you guys, that's one thing we've perfected. So we have the trainings on Thursdays that the MSIs do. There's study halls for people to get involved with your teams. There's so many group trainings to help people do the same thing and learn this. As long as you don't quit, the resources are here to get you over every hump and to get you going in the ways to do things. And we're gonna address that. But I wanted to focus on this because the more I think about it, Donna, what other programs are out there that allows you to be able to have life happen and you don't lose all the work you did? What else does that?
Nothing that I know of, and nothing would have kept me employed for 3 months while I was sitting, I was on my butt. So, you would have been fired. They say they're keeping your job for you, but they wouldn't keep it that long. No way. And here, when I did get able to sit and work on the computer again, even for part-time, I could come in at least and get back into it. It was still there. And thanks to the team that I had grown, everything was running really smoothly.
And it's just a testament to how this program was designed. But also, when we talk about legacy business, Donna, your team is there in 50 years or whatever it is, when you go to a different existence, you can will this and pay this forward to your family, or do whatever else you want with it. You could sell it as a business too, but it's still got the compounding effect of growing. We built it to be a legacy business. And I don't think people really understand what that means, but proof that you can walk away from it because of life and come back to it, that's part of the legacy build. I can tell you, as an employer, when an employee's gone for months, eventually you got to get the job done. Well, we figure out a way to make it happen in a team structure, and we build that way. Why? So we can all take care of each other. That's why. It's the right way to do it. And it came from, watching other businesses and projects, fail when life happened, right? Watching these things, and you solve it. We've solved every possible known aspect other than somebody quitting to make this work. That's why you'll hear me say, the only way this doesn't work is if you quit. It's not something that works if you're lucky. No, follow the system. Do ABC, you're going to get XYZ. It's that simple. All right, I got someone else I'm going to bring on. We're going to cover the rest of this training on this. This is a recent absence because of surgery as well, and then a resurgent. But we were on the leadership call yesterday, and I spotlighted her. But you guys, I want you guys to hear her story on things, and the things come back. But I got a little bit of a seed I'm going to plant in everybody. Most everybody here, the things that we're doing are new. You never would have learned this anywhere else. It's challenging because you're learning something new. And once you learn it, it's easy, right? And then anybody can do it. But there's some key things here. So I'm gonna ask Laura Armstrong to come on with me.
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. We can get her on video. So Laura, I put you on the spot yesterday on leadership, and I actually wanted you to restate it for everybody here. And you guys, this is just me reflecting and celebrating, and with huge gratitude that the vision got completed to solve these friction points. And Laura, you've been building with us for a little while now. You've earned trips. You're definitely really good at following the processes and the systems. You're building a spectacular team. Tanny and I are watching you just grow up the ranks. We're just looking at the months before you're an MSI, probably MSI elite, because you build momentum, you get it. Amazing leadership skills. But you had to take away, and you've had life happen too. You've had issues with family, things going on like everybody does, and then you've had personal issues. But I want to bring on here because, and I know Donna touched base on it a little bit, but I want to know, kind of go into, as much as you feel like sharing. You had to leave for whatever reason, and you're able to come back. But why do you come back and start running again? What is it that keeps you focused on this? That's question number one. Explain what's happened to you recently, and why you come back and drive the stuff. And this is all part of RRR, guys. Things happen.
Yeah, sure. So, literally the first half of this year was probably one of the most horrible sections of my life, right? So there was family stuff that went on. We all can't choose our family, but whatever, let's just leave it at that. So, but the fact of the matter is there was a lot of drama and stuff like that. I'm not a drama person. I don't care about that. I care about people, and I try not to get roped into that stuff, right? Because it doesn't interest me, right? So there was a lot of that going on in my family. So I separated myself from that after 4 months. And then I had to go in for 2 surgeries that were elective but needed to get done. And so I tried my best in the first half of the year to stay on it, even with everything going on. I did okay, but it's not my best. For those of you who don't know me, a little background on me: I am a 3-time world champion martial artist, and I know what it means to be the best in the world, and so that's a standard I hold myself to a lot. And it doesn't mean you have to do that, but what is your standard, right? So I was disappointed in myself for the first half of the year because I was expecting to, walk away with the wine label. I was expecting all these things I had a plan for, and then life happened. And it's like a toddler, right? When they learn to walk, the mom's on the one side of the room and the dad's on the other, and they're trying to get the kid to walk to the other side of the room. But as they start across the room, they see like maybe a toy and they wander over there, right? And then the dad calls them over, gets them back on track, right? So life is like that, right? And you just have to try and be flexible about it. So for me, I had a high standard coming in for myself here, more than anybody else could ever put on me. And so because I feel like the goals that I want to reach are really high. So when we were on the instructor call last night, you called me out. You actually got my true code come out. Like it was like the true me, right? And you're like, why did you come back? I said, because I needed to make more income. I haven't made enough money here yet, right? And I have a great relationship with money, right? But in a way, the way that I said it, I'm like, some people aren't going to get that because it sounds selfish and greedy, but that's not really what I'm about. So what I didn't get to say was more, I wanted to say that, being off, I could let things slide and not come back, right? It's like, so how much do you want it is your question. What's your why? And are you connected to that? So I really had to look at that. Right. So that was the first thing for me, looking at my why and do I still want to come back and do this? Right. And the answer was yes, you need to. So, but what I didn't get a chance to say was that I needed to continue to build my team. I couldn't leave them out there. My team is exploding and I don't want them to feel like I abandoned them because I wouldn't like that. Right. So again, my standard for myself is the one I give for my team. Right. And not only that, if I don't continue, I'm not going to reach my goals. And my goals are big, like to put it mildly, right? Like my goals are big, and I'll tell you what big is: big, hairy, awesome goals. That's what my goals are, right? So if you don't have bad goals, it's okay, but those are mine, right? And that's what I go to achieve. Okay. And I know I'm going to hear this from some of the MSIs later because they're not going to let me live it down. But I can't do that if I leave, or I can't do that if I let things slide, right? And so I'm like, okay, Laura, what are you going to do? Let's get back on the horse. You had to do it when you competed, when you got injured. It's the same thing here, right? So what are the habits that you have that get you back into it? And so I just tapped into that and I decided, no, there's more here for me. And I haven't reached my goals here yet, so I'm not done. And I haven't got my team where I want them to be. They're not all MSIs yet, so I'm not finished either. So that's kind of like how that whole thing happened for me.
And I want to bring this up there because Laura and I have spent a lot of time together because she works things hard. She's a VIP instructor and she just shows up. So she's got in here and she did that, but she also has an amazing background in leadership training and skills that we can all grow from. And she's part of a program that's called BANK, B-A-N-K. Some of you don't know what it is yet. You're going to get exposed to it. It's something that we make exposure available once you become a CSI, which is a certified system instructor. And it's training to teach you how to communicate better with people based on their needs and language, based on their personality and characteristics. It's so awesome. It's something that I took years to develop personally. It's something that's part of my skill set, learned, honed in, mentors to get there. And I remember working with Laura and she's like, have you ever heard of this program? I'm like, I think I have, because there was a guy that was talking about it before, but I said, I really don't know it. And she walked me through it. And literally I went like, I've been manifesting, praying for a way to help teach people this. Because if you can teach them how to communicate better, they're going to be able to market better. And if I can teach our instructors how to read people and communicate during the build relationship and trust, then we can get more people to see what we have. Because the hardest thing we have with the new student coming in is to let them see how real this is and let them drop their guard, trust us to walk them through this. I mean, it takes a lot of trust to jump into a program like this, where you're going to put your time, effort, money, investment, and go forward. And how do we teach people how to do that? How do I duplicate what I can do? And I was putting that out there, and literally, it was one of those friction points I wanted to solve. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to start building a course around it. I'll just trial and error and put my head through a wall, which is, when in doubt, that's what I do. If I can't find a way to solve it, I'm going to just do it until I figure it out. I'll fail, and figure it out. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to figure it out. And she showed me this, and I don't know if you remember it when I went, are you kidding me? Oh my God, this makes so much sense. Oh, no, we're doing this. Okay, I got to figure out how we get this implemented. And she volunteered. She happens to be like one of the top trainers there, and she volunteered to help our guys learn how to do this. And we've done some trial runs with huge success. But what I want to do is it's at the CSI level, because I'm a big believer that no one's going to invest in themselves until they understand they need the help. So when you get started as an instructor, it's scary. It's your first thing going. And once you get 10 students in, you understand the steps, but you also understand that you have a struggle point, because we all do. And now we get to give you training to fix that. And if you don't know where you're struggling, you're not going to know where to fix. Then it makes absolute sense. And it's created amazing things. Now, we're going to go a little bit over. I'm still going to read the chapter of my book, but you guys, Laura teaches this, and we're going to be bringing on a few of our students they're now instructors. They're all excelling. They're all growing in the ranks. Everybody that's worked with her, that's stuck with that program with her, they're all excelling. It's incredible stories. And these are people that I personally have helped walk off the ledge, because it was hard for them to go forward. So to me, this is a missing friction point that we solved. And if you can't invest in your people, you're going to destroy your business. And this business is our businesses are connected. You're partners with Tanya and I. And so, and you guys, something that you may not understand. I sound great. I look accomplished, because I am, but I've invested literally millions of dollars in trainings, masterminds, becoming the best Rory, getting the right mentorship. If I didn't have the answer, who had it? All those principles I put in my book are how I've lived. And you guys, and yeah, I've had great business that allowed that to happen, but I constantly invest in myself, do masterminds, go meet with great people. I'm doing, guys, you have to invest in yourself. And that's in the books you read, the time you spend out there. That's why we do the live events. But guys, this bank training is incredible. And we're just rolling it out there as we get more CSIs. Now we're gonna be doing some announcements. Laura, thank you for coming on and sharing that. You guys, I had to ask her this last night, and I'm glad she shared it again, because when Laura told me, hey, I got this going on, I got this complication. I'm not gonna go into details other than life happened, and what was supposed to happen in a couple of weeks ended up being like 6 weeks. Same thing. Nothing goes as planned. Doctors change things, right? And she was really frustrated because it was moving her timeline and her deadlines around. And we just said, what did I say? Like, let's be patient. We'll get through it, right? I got your team. I held trainings to make sure her group had help while she was indisposed, right? And getting back to where she could function. But when she came back on, she just went. It was like, oh, there it is. And I'm like, okay, what made you do that? Like, can you share with people why you did that? And that's where that came from. And you guys, what we have here, you can get going anytime. Something happens, just turn on and go. It's the most forgiving, allowing program ever, by design. Wasn't by accident, by design. All right, Laura, we'll do some more of this stuff later. Thanks for coming on and sharing that with everybody.
My pleasure.
I think it's good to hear from other people too, because they can relate to that, and it doesn't, the triple R is real. Like reset, refocus, recommit. I do it all the time, all day long, but sometimes you got to do it after a big event, a big life event. Get back on the saddle and ride. You said that. You got to get back on the saddle. That's a great term, right? That I've lived that saddle. Like I've lived that, where I got bucked off a horse and had to get right back on it and show it. I wasn't scared. I'm going to calm it down. I know that analogy personally, right? It's a true one, right?
Yeah, and just one more thing, Rory, before we finish off. Like, I could go and do a lot of other things. Like, I run 4 businesses, but I can do this from anywhere in the world, and I can come back to it anytime I want. So that's the thing that also attracts me, because it's really important for me to like, oh, I can just build it anytime I want. So let's just do that, right? Because that's where I want to be right now, right? And if other things come in, that's great, but I always have this as my mainstay backup, right? And other things can be available to me. So it really is your business that you're going to work. So thank you, Roy and Tanya, for that. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have that to back me up.
I appreciate that. And you're more than welcome. And you guys, by the way.
Thank you, Laura. We love you. We're glad you're back.
Thanks.
Babe, we know she's pushing to be MSI elite, and we don't, you guys, we have people on the verge of it. MSI elite, you're hitting the $1 million incomes. That's what you create to get there. And we have people building the right steps. But you know, Laura, like one of the things she set up when we were setting the leadership up, and she's like, okay, tell me how this works. What's the top thing? What's that earn? Yep, that's where I want to be. Okay. She's like, no, I deserve it. That's what I'm going to do. What do I need to do there? And everything I've given her to map out, she does. She gets it, right? And if she doesn't understand the logic behind it, we go through it, and she's like, oh, it makes sense. Okay, I'm on. And that's what's duplicating with her team. And you know, not everybody wants to be a millionaire. I get it. It's fine. You all deserve overabundance, whatever that means for your needs. But I can tell you, millions of dollars helps a lot of people. If Tanny and I didn't have millions of dollars in what we've created, we couldn't have created this program. We couldn't have. It took huge wealth and blessing of wealth and the understanding of that for us to even create something like this to help. And I was on a conversation with somebody today, and they brought up all these other programs that had a great community aspect that promised to help everybody, and they never took off. And it's hard. Like, you guys, what we built here, absolute hard sacrifice. You know, Tanny and I will break down sometimes and go through it. And, you know, we just had an incredible vision that's had to happen. It took way longer than we thought it would, but no one's ever done anything like this. There's nothing like RRR out there. There just isn't. And where we can actually fund everybody's marketing, that doesn't exist anywhere. And we were able to create it on the backs of our other blessings and our other companies. And it's just the way God lined things up for us that allowed us to do this. But it's something truly tremendous. But there's a lot of people out there that have great intent and have tried, but there was just friction points. And we had enough to get going back in 2008, things fell into place, and we just kept making it better and better and better. And here 15 years later, I don't see any other friction point that I have listed down. I've accomplished them all. And now I get to just grow and develop with you guys nonstop. And nothing makes me happier than helping somebody. That's true happiness to me. You know, if everybody else, you know, if you're ever around and you watch me in the morning, I like to jump out of bed and go. I jump out of bed and just go, because I'm so excited to get my day going and help everybody I can, because it fires me up and gives me energy too. I found my purpose and I love it. And we get to radiate that with everybody here. But when you have somebody like Laura, like Donna, like our leaders that come in and they share that same thing, you know, you guys, Laura calls me sometimes. I'm gonna put on, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be very powerful and take her ability to talk away. Laura she comes to me, and I don't want her to talk back on this, so I'm gonna be bossy. Laura comes to me and she'll call me and she's like, Rory, I'm just calling to tell you, and I'll give a great example. She'll call me and is like, Mona is doing amazing, one of her students, and she'll just call me and just say, I just wanted to tell you they're doing great, and I'm like, I get it, right? You feel it for them. She has that same drive that if she sees somebody growing, she is more happy for their success and where they want to go than they are. She feeds that way. But she'll just call me and say, I just got to tell you, they're just cranking. They got their first PBS or whatever it is. She calls in and like, okay, I'm gone. I just wanted to share it with you. And it melts my heart. And she comes across very, very tough, but she has the most amazing, nurturing heart. And I've seen it come out there, but you know, she gets frustrated when somebody doesn't get it, but she's not afraid to ask me, Rory, can you help talk with them too? Because they're not understanding. And I know you can help. She's not afraid to ask for help. And that makes a true leader. And that's the thing here is like, guys, you have a whole support team. You don't need to know all the answers yet. And do you know how you learn? By finding out the answers yourself too. You become the best teacher by helping more students. The more we help others, the more we grow and learn. It's a universal thing. That's how God intended us to grow, never by ourselves. And the more people I talk to, the happier I am. The more people I help, the happier I am. The more I can share and convey what we do here, the happier I am. And to see any of our leaders do that same, it just melts my heart. And I'm just appreciative of everybody. All right, I'm going to, we're 8:08. I'm going to stop this call. I'm gonna stop the live, and then I'm gonna switch into my book reading, right, and record that. So just give me a second to set it up there. I believe I'm on chapter 15. I'll go look at it, and then we'll start it. So